You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Day after the Hockey Canada trial, and Liam has the day off. Let's get into it with the lead. Who's letting this guy take every single Friday off? God damn. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio, from jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger. You'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet. The show, as always, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never going to be ordinary at Bet365. YouTube chat for our friends at Odd Company Brewing and Nation Beer Everyday Lager. A crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. No game days right now, so how are you enjoying one? Cold brew on the golf course, sitting in the backyard on a nice patio. Why not their patio at the Ritchie location? Shout out to Odd Company. Just me and Aaron today, but no Liam. He's off once again. And yeah, a lot to get to. Isaac, I see in the chat saying we back. We got a draftee as well. Yes, we do. We're going to be joined in about 15, 20 minutes time by Asher Barnett, the Oilers' fifth-round pick from the last draft, from the 2025 NHL draft, 131st overall, native of Wilmette, Illinois. And he's going to the University of Michigan. He was at Dev Camp. We're going to talk to him about the draft process, about what he thought of Edmonton. Also, he played in the Brick Tournament as a kid, so he's familiar with this lovely city here in Edmonton. We'll chat with Asher coming up in a few minutes' time. Isaac, surely this YouTube chat will be civil after yesterday, and maybe I'll even just try to put off that topic for a little bit, if you don't mind. One thing that we did talk about earlier in the week, and Gregor poured cold water on it. We talked about Nikita Yevseyev and the entry-level deal. Rumored the Oilers were going to sign the Russian defenseman. Apparently that's not happening this summer. So Gregor, despite the rumors, Gregor says it's not happening. So shout out to Gregor for, not correcting us on that, but giving us a little bit of additional reporting there. So Oilers not expected to sign Yevseyev this summer. Aaron?
How we doing? I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it either.
We've been putting it off until a day like today. We said when the trial comes or when it's ended. Here we go.
Yeah, and it's obviously very divisive. As someone who, followed this trial closely, read all the reporting from The Athletic and Rick Westhead and all of that, I'm not totally shocked that this was the end and the players got off and no one's going to jail and all of that. But you read the details, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a legal guy, but I do think there are some flaws with the system when you look at some of the evidence that was not used. I also think these are a lot of guys and players who conveniently didn't remember a lot of things when the time came. You can look at Brett Howden, who testified that he basically didn't remember anything that happened, and yet during the initial Hockey Canada investigation, which I know wasn't a criminal investigation, he had text messages saying things along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but dude, Duber was smacking her so hard. I'm so happy I got out of there. It looked like it hurt. And it's okay, so we have those text messages, but they're not used in the investigation. I felt like some of the stuff that the judge kind of threw away was, foolish. But again, I'm not a legal guy. I'm not a lawyer. So I can't talk about that, about whether or not this was the right decision. But I also do know that if the courts find you not guilty, that doesn't always mean you're totally innocent. It just means there wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt. And I get that. And these guys get to walk free and they get to go seek employment wherever they want. That's now totally in their right. I also know that the NHL is a business, and if they don't want to employ you because they don't want the PR that comes with it, or they don't think you're a good representation of their company or their brand, they don't have to employ you. And anyone sitting here saying that these guys have I'll put in quotes, a right to play in the NHL, they don't. They have a right to seek employment wherever they want. They have a right to pursue a career in professional hockey.
The NHL has a right to say no.
The NHL has a right to be and I shouldn't even say the NHL, all 32 teams have a right to say, we don't want to give you a contract. This has happened before. It's going to happen again. And listen, Wise Kyle, I know you're going to say what you're going to say in the chat. I would say if you want, and this is, I've had conversations about this, talk to some women in your life about how they feel about this verdict. And, if it's someone who's read the trial and read what happened to that girl, again, it's a very complex case, and there were a lot of conflicting facts, you could call them, a lot of he said, she said. I get that, and I get that in the court of law, that maybe isn't enough to, say that these guys are guilty. Not guilty. Okay. I'm just saying I'm not sitting there. I wasn't chomping at the bit yesterday when I see Carter Hart's not guilty. I'm not like, whew, Oilers got their goalie as the non-guilty, not guilty, not guilty. As all 5 of those poured in, I was in like, oh my God, can the Oilers get a good checking center out of this? I was sitting there feeling pretty bad for the victim in all of this. I was sitting there going, I think our judicial process around sexual assault is pretty flawed. And as someone who read through all the documents and read what happened in this, and Tyler Mulick, again, I'll rely on the chat for a decent part of this. Mulick, I think, puts it pretty well. Mm-hmm. Innocent doesn't mean they didn't do terrible things. And one of the lines that I think really stuck out to me from, I believe this one was from The Athletic, I clipped it from. I just want to get a word for word. The judge notes that in the video, EM is wiping her eyes, which EM said could be her crying, but the judge found that to be speculative. I mean, come on. You can go and read some facts, and you can, I guess if you go into it with a certain bias, you can get some confirmation bias by reading this stuff. But I don't know, man. I didn't come out of that reading the facts of that story being like, boy, these boys got framed. Also, the idea that they were 15 or 16 when this happened and they were just boys. No, these were grown men. They were 18, 19 years old. They knew what they were doing. They were older than that, I think. I don't know. I wouldn't feel good about seeing any single one of these guys wearing an Edmonton Oilers jersey. And you can sit there and say they were proven not guilty in court. Court of public opinion's a lot different. Mm-hmm. How I would feel about one of those guys, how I do feel about those guys personally, after reading the facts and reading what they did, it's not good. I don't want to root for them. I don't want them on my hockey team. So I don't know. It's an awkward subject. It's not something I like talking about. I see this one. I get all that, Tyler, but judge found them not guilty. Time to move on. I mean, sure, if they want to go, again, they're free. If they can find a European, they can go to pursue a career in hockey. I'm not saying you're saying that every league in the hockey world should band together and be like, these guys should never put on skates again. They are absolutely free to go pursue whatever they would like to pursue because criminal court found them not guilty. Not guilty doesn't always mean innocent. And I just think that's a very important line to remember in all of this. You all have eyes. Most of you have brains that work pretty well, I'd hope. You can go read the facts of this case, and you can decide if you'd feel okay rooting for that guy in an Oilers jersey. I know without a shadow of a doubt what my answer is to that question. I wouldn't want to see Carter Hart in an Oilers jersey. He also hasn't played hockey for 18 months, so there's that.
Also looked at his stats up today. They're not that great. They're not that great.
Yeah. I don't know. And Chris says, look, I don't agree with what they did, but our GM then shouldn't be allowed to GM. Whoa, I think there's a bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
I think there's a very, very big difference. I don't know. And listen, why is Kyle? Yeah, you'd buy a Hart jersey tomorrow. And listen, buddy, that says a whole hell of a lot more about you than it does about who you're standing up for or whatever. But you can also fucking grow up a little bit and understand that this is, again, a complex issue that isn't just the headline says not guilty. Put that guy on my favorite hockey team. He might be worth 2 more wins over the course of an 82-game season. Everyone deserves a second chance. Hopefully they learn from this and will do better and use the second chance to do good. Yes, and listen, if time goes on and I hear that these guys are taking strides to actually be better people, I mean, maybe there's a world where my mind gets changed. As it sits right now with the facts I have in front of me about what went on in this case, what went on in that night, the way those group chats were talking about this in the days and weeks afterwards. I mean, put it this way. Was Hockey Canada writing a $3.5 million check to try to push us under the rug because they thought these guys were innocent and didn't do anything wrong? No.
That's a good point.
And there's a line from Carter Hart's lawyer in here that also didn't make me feel great. I need to find it now in the article. But Aaron, you and I were talking about it before where it was basically like he wants to take this and learn from it. But the way it was put was just a little bit weird.
About like paraphrasing, but like educating others and what, I don't know. It's just, this whole situation is like, once again, it
gives me a gross feeling.
Exactly,
man.
it's gross.
Like,
and you mentioned the court of public opinion, and yes, sure, these guys are able to seek employment and whatnot. There's just the reality of it. They got to repair their images. They have to do something.
Yeah. I mean,
that's going to be out of the order. Like we saw Vander Kane, not nearly the same thing, but he comes into Edmonton, had to show the city, hey, I'm doing this for Cecily. I'm doing this for this. And there needs to be some steps before I personally, and I'm only speaking for me, before I would be like, all right, give this man a contract right now. I need to see something first.
Absolutely. The NHL put out a statement yesterday, and it says this: the allegations made in this case, even if not determined to have been criminal, were very disturbing, and the behavior at issue was unacceptable. We will be reviewing and considering the judge's findings. While we conduct that analysis and determine next steps, the players charged in this case are ineligible to play in the league. That is an official NHL statement. Read the last part again for you one more time. The players charged in this case are ineligible to play in the league. All right. This is from the NHLPA. Dylan Dubé, Cal Foote, Alex Formenton, Carter Hart, and Michael McLeod were acquitted of all charges by Justice Karoshia of the Ontario Superior Court. After missing more than a full season of their respective NHL careers, they should now have the opportunity to return to work. The NHL's declaration that the players are ineligible to play pending its further analysis of the court's findings is inconsistent with the discipline procedures set forth in the CBA. We are addressing this dispute with the league and will have no further comment at this time. Again, if the NHL comes out tomorrow and is like, these guys have been cleared, they are eligible to return to the league. Okay, that's a CBA issue. The PA's got to file their grievances. Yes, absolutely. But there's also nothing saying that an NHL team has to sign them. They don't have to be on a 22 or 23-man roster starting next season. And I think that's justified. You shouldn't get to, again, face and calling them accusations is one thing, but you can read in the court findings. You can go through and peruse your way through the coverage of this trial. This isn't like the judge said, none of this stuff didn't happen. It all happened. It was a case of consent, intoxication to some extent. It was messy. Go read the Athletic article from today that talks a little bit, right off the jump, about how messy this trial was, from, someone being arrested on suspicion of recording the trial with smart glasses in the courtroom.
That's wild.
To reporters getting yelled at by people in the courtroom. It was a disaster.
The jury got changed twice.
The jury got changed. A mistrial was declared. This was, whatever way you want to look at it, an absolute disaster. And again, I think there were a lot of players who testified in this who conveniently didn't remember a lot of the shit that went down. Again, I'm not the best at talking about this stuff. If you came here looking for some eloquent take on the legal system and how sexual assault's handled in this country and in North America, this probably isn't the spot to come to. I'm of the belief that victims have a really, really hard time. And I applaud the girl who, again, put herself on the line and faced a really grueling cross-examination where she was asked some questions that made my skin crawl. And the way some of the lawyers, which again, that's their job, they're fighting for their client. And I understand these guys were facing legit jail time. And again, it's a mess. It's an unfortunate story all the way around. I think where I'll end this, and I wouldn't feel good rooting for one of these guys. Maybe when enough time passes, and if any one of them, which again, reading the quotes from their lawyers, I don't think any one of them really want to do a lot to rehabilitate their image. I mean, there was the line that one of them yesterday, when they took that first recess, walked out of the courtroom with a massive smile on his face. I don't know.
That's tough. That's read the room, turn your brain on.
Right?
That doesn't give me confidence that. Once again, I could just be reading into things too much here and there. I do like the one point you made though, Ty, about think about the women in your life. I do think that, and Waz Kyle, I'm looking at you specifically here. Dude, she didn't want to go through all of that situation. She had to get, you just mentioned, when she got whatever testified or whatever. That's a tough situation to be in, to read all these things online. Just just everybody just chill a little bit here.
Yeah. And D White says, are you being pro Bowman being an Oilers GM? Listen, if I had my way, Stan Bowman would not be the GM of the Edmonton Oilers. They wouldn't have hired him. They would have gone a different way. There is also, like, again, it's not as simple as, like, anyone who's ever been accused of something can never work in the NHL again. Like, no, there's room for some gray area in these conversations. Not everything needs to be black and white. Like, Stan Bowman also had a lot of people who do a lot of work in the sexual assault spaces giving him the stamp of approval. Him and Kyle Beach have a relationship. I was in the building last year. Stan Bowman went to Claire Drake to watch Kyle Beach's Trinity Western team. Like, it's not like Kyle Beach put up his hand and was like, this guy should never work in hockey again. I hate him. I'm disgusting. Like, he gave that his stamp of approval. Like, that's again where this conversation, like, and all of these conversations, it's not as simple as just like putting your foot down and being like, they're not guilty, sign Carter Hart tomorrow. Why didn't he walk out of the courtroom in an Oilers jersey? Like, go read through this stuff. If you can read everything that went down that night and you go, man, I feel good about this guy being an Oiler, then sure, it's within your right to feel that way. It's also within my right to read all that and go, gross. I don't like the way these guys acted that night. I think there's a lot more to this than what came forth in the courtroom. And again, a lot of convenient misremembering is a line that I'll keep going back to. Wouldn't feel good about him being an Oiler. That's my answer. So whatever. They didn't go to jail. I bet you that is a great feeling for them. I also think you could maybe read through this and be like, did these guys deserve to go to jail? Like, again, the criminal side of this and then how I feel personally about these guys getting to play in the top league in the world and be at the top of their sport. Like, I'm not totally dismissing their right to get a second chance. I'm just saying I might want to see a little bit more from them before I'm like, make them NHLers again. Let's go. All right. I think I'm good on all of this. Yeah. You would never take the innocent player stance because it's controversial. No, like, again, I just sat here and explained to you why ultimately I am okay with Stan Bowman being the GM. Again, if I had my way last summer, he wouldn't have been hired. He did the work, you could say. And again, do I still feel great about it? No, but I understand why Stan Bowman got a second chance. This is a bit of an apples to oranges comparison because, like, Stan Bowman was not the one committing the crimes.
Exactly.
And, like, these guys, go read any piece of reporting from Westhead, The Athletic, Sport, whoever you want to read, go read it. It all says basically the same shit because that's how reporting on this stuff works. There's no opinion. It's facts that are laid out in the courtroom. You can read what these guys did in excruciating detail. I read that and go, I don't want to root for that guy. And that's where I'm going to end this conversation. You can sit here in the chat and talk about how you think Carter Hart is this much of a better goalie than Stuart Skinner or this much of a better goalie than Stuart Skinner. I'm going to keep riding with Stuart Skinner. I'm not going to talk anymore about this. Like,
also, he had a 906, 907, 905, which once again I get is slightly better than Stuart Skinner. But I do feel like we built up in our heads that Carter Hart's some insane Vezina caliber goalie. And then I look back in these stats and I get it's Philly, but I'm like, maybe we're just a little goalie starved.
And like Dylan kind of says, like, oh, Tyler I think if you listen to this show, I'm not fucking woke. Like, that's dumb. Anyways.
Also, Jimmy saying stop talking when you are solo hosting the podcast. That's a tough ask, brother.
Jimmy, don't watch the fucking show, Jimmy.
Hey!
There's an idea. You can literally just go do anything else with your time. On that note, I move on because honestly, 20 minutes is enough time of me saying basically the same thing over and over again. And for those of you who are in a certain camp, I'm never going to change your mind. And those of you who are on the other side, you're probably never going to have your mind changed either. So, like, everyone said their piece. We're good. Let's move on. Because I think we also all agree this show's a lot more fun when we're talking about literally anything except for this.
Yep.
And I'll reiterate one more time. If you came to this show for some sort of eloquent take on the sexual assault and the state of that in the judicial system in Canada, I'm not the guy to give that to you. There are reporters who will do a much better job of that, and I will once again direct you to The Athletic and Rick Westhead's work. Go there. All right. On that note, Do I have more takes on the Oilers not signing Nikita Yevseyev? No, I'm also out on that one. And as much as this is...
Our new guest is here.
All right. This will cheer me up.
There we go.
Because we're talking to someone who just went through the NHL draft. He's a 5th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. It's all coming to you on the Star Mechanical Guest Line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more by visiting them online at starmechanical.ca. Asher Barnett joins the show, and I would imagine, like... Asher, first off, appreciate you giving us some time. Excited to have you on. The last 6 weeks of your life, from bang, combine, bang, NHL draft, you're selected, dev camp, you must just be spinning. You probably haven't stopped moving and getting on planes the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a lot, but I'd say it's never really stressed me out or anything like that. I've just been grateful through it all, and it's been so much fun and really just an experience I've never had before. It's pro hockey and being in that sort of scene and rolling with that crew, it's really special.
What was your reaction when the Oilers did pick you? Because I would imagine there's some amount of a conversation beforehand when you were sitting there waiting, fingers crossed as the picks go on. When am I going? When am I going? When you see the Oilers trade up, are you like, oh shit, that might be me?
Yeah, I had a pretty good idea. I watched the draft from home and I was sitting with my family on the couch and I got a text from my agent and he sort of said, I think Stan Bowman is really interested in you and I think it's going to happen and he's going to trade up here. And then I was nervous and then I saw the trade happen and I saw it went to Edmonton and I sort of knew and I got real excited.
I have a couple other things about the draft process I want to ask you, but when the phone rings, was it Stan who kind of calls you and gives you the welcome to the Oilers message?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So what do you have to say? What's that kind of call like?
It's really exciting. I had all the emotions still, running through my head and I was still a little teary-eyed. So I'm sure it was a fun call for him to make sort of. And hear my emotions, but he was basically just, saying welcome to the Oilers and we're thrilled to have you. And, I almost blacked out. I don't even really remember the phone call, to be honest, but yeah, it was along those lines.
I look a little bigger because I'm wearing a hoodie, but I've never been to a gym in my life, so I'm excited to ask you this. How much does the combine suck? Is that just the worst fucking day ever, or is it kind of fun? Is there one thing that you hated?
It does kind of suck, but I'm a super competitive person. So, it was pretty fun to, they got the scoreboard with all the names up and you can kind of see where you're ranking up in live time. But they wait to do the testing till the last day of the combine and the combine's 6 days long. So you're sort of waiting there and nervous and anxious. And so, yeah, that was probably the hardest part for me. I think the bike tests suck. The VO2 max test is never easy, but I think I performed pretty well and glad it's over.
What were you good at? Which ones were you up on the leaderboard for?
VO2 max was good. My wind gate scores were good. And my power scores were good. So that were metrics on the wind gate, and then bench press was good as well.
So I mentioned it's again, kind of like a whirlwind few weeks for all the guys who go through the process like you, and you go combine, you have the draft. I know you said you were at home for it, but then it's dev camp for the Oilers. What was development camp like?
It was great. It was truly awesome. It was my first time being in, NHL facilities like that and having a full-time staff and, everyone around you. I think we had 27 players at the camp and there were, I'd say, just as much staff around you. There's so much to learn. And I think overall it wasn't really a lot of pressure. Going into it, I was pretty nervous that I had to perform and, be my best self. But once I got there, it was just, be who you are and you're here for a reason and just, get to know everyone and check it out. And I think that was pretty cool.
You mentioned the facilities and it is unique, I think, for you because the Rogers Place is top of the top of the top. That's just not a normal NHL rink. Was there any little thing that as you went through dev camp, something small where you're damn, okay, this makes me feel like I'm in the NHL?
I'd say probably the food. They call it the Never Hungry League for a reason, and they had two great chefs that are full-time with the team, and they were making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and they were probably some of the best meals I had. And you're never going hungry.
Yeah, we had a guy from Edmonton who's pitching in the majors now. We had him on the show last summer, and he said the same thing. Like, he got called up, and a couple weeks in, he's like, okay, I've been eating steak every night for like the last 20 days. Like, at some point here, I need to mix it up a little bit, but I like that, the Never Hungry League. That also, not your first time in Edmonton, because you played in the Brick Tournament.
I have, yeah. That was I think it was actually going on at the time. I was at Dev Camp, so on my flight coming in, I saw a lot of participants, and it was fun to sort of just chat with them and see where they're coming from.
Yeah, so it actually ruined a great bit I had for our interview today. I was going to flash up pictures of things that are in West Edmonton Mall and have you guess if they actually exist in the mall or if I just made it up, because there's so much shit in the mall that's absolutely ridiculous. But again, you would have that experience from the Brick Tournament. Do you remember some of the other like guys who ended up are now going on to great careers? Like, do you remember who some of the best players were in that tournament?
I remember Michael Misa being like the best player there. I'm pretty sure he played for the Bulldogs there, and I remember participating in the All-Star game or something they had going on there, and then I think our team placed second in the All-Star game or something, and they were up there too, and I remember hanging out with him for a bit. But yeah, I mean, he was always good even since that age.
Yeah, I did my research. Misa did lead that tournament in scoring, but also, and I don't know if you would have played against him, Gavin McKenna was in that tournament as well. So that means he would have been like a year younger than everyone, and he, again, was like second in tournament scoring because he was so sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's crazy.
Talking about feeling like you're in the NHL too, was there anything, and I know it was obviously a number of years ago that you played in it, but that tournament, even though you're like 10 years old, that tournament also makes you feel like you were in the NHL.
Yeah, I mean, being in the middle of the mall, there's like, I think that was the first time I ever sort of played in front of a crowd, and there's, just strangers, random people watching the games, and I remember looking up in the stands and seeing other people besides my parents and my grandparents and being like, what are these people doing watching my games? And I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did play-by-play for that tournament for a while, and like the broadcasts are like NHL caliber broadcasts. It is crazy.
Oh yeah.
When you were here last for Dev Camp, did you get to do like any exploring outside of Edmonton? I know they do. They take you guys like out for days outside of the rink too, right? Did you get to do anything cool while you were here?
Yeah, we had some fun activities. We did paintball. I couldn't tell you where. It was sort of in the middle of a cornfield, like 40 minutes away. But it was a really good experience. It was fun. And we also went to a Riverhawks baseball game, which was pretty cool. And I had some fun at that.
Yeah, the Riverhawks games are unbelievable because that ballpark is in like such a beautiful spot, which is another good thing too. And I guess like different for you because when you came for the Brick Tournament, granted younger, but like middle of July. But there's so many people who just hear Edmonton or see Edmonton in the winter while the Oilers are playing. Coming in July, sitting at a Riverhawks game like in the River Valley, I think you'll agree now, and you have to agree because you're an Oiler. Edmonton, tremendous summer city.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember being at the Brick and not leaving the hotel complex for a week, so I was trapped inside. But yeah, that was the first time I really got outside, and just driving in from the airport, I remember seeing the valley and that the river sits in, and that was just how beautiful that was with the city in the backdrop, and the bridge. It was really cool.
I want to talk a little bit more. We'll get into some serious hockey talk here now. You go to Dev Camp. Is there any part of your game that while you're out there competing against, again, like now you're best prospects of the best, is there any part of your game that was like an eye-opener, like, oh shit, I really need to work on this if I'm going to like take that next step and keep growing and competing with these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things for me to work on. I think as a defenseman, I'm the biggest thing I'm working on is adding another layer to my offensive game. And that's not going to be, being a dynamic offensive defenseman, but just, getting 4 quality shots on goal a game, and being able to get up in the rush and produce off it. Aside from that, I think I did pretty well in the development camp. I think I can definitely add another layer to my physical game too. Just becoming bigger and stronger. I think I can really, take advantage of some guys, and that could be a big part of my game. Yeah.
I'll now ask you the most low-hanging fruit that an interviewer can ask an NHL prospect, but I know the chat wants to hear it. Give us the player comparable. Who do you feel like you play like? Who did you take inspiration from when you were growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I know Oilers fans aren't going to be pleased to hear this, but someone I model my game after a lot is Gustav Forsling on the Panthers. I think I'm the same sort of build and same sort of frame and the same sort of mindset.
Yeah, and a guy who, like, I think maybe like well-rounded in the sense of like he's not going out there and putting up 70 points a year. He's also not going to win a Norris, but you can absolutely trust him with 22 to 25 minutes a night. He can be second power play unit, be penalty kill. Is that something that you're maybe striving for a little bit? Is like an all situations well-rounded defenseman?
Absolutely, that's what I see in myself.
We got one question in the YouTube chat. They wanted to know where you're going next year. University of Michigan. What was it like coming to that decision, and what other kind of options did you consider?
Yeah, I was drafted by the Ottawa 67s in the OHL, but decided to commit to college. At the end of the day, it was between Notre Dame and Michigan, two very good schools. I think I chose Michigan at the end of the day just because of the coaching staff. I have a lot of family history there as well. My mother went there, as well as my grandmother. So a lot of family ties there. I actually live in Michigan now. But yeah, I'm really interested in their D coach, and I think I have a lot to learn from him. And at the end of the day, Michigan was the spot for me.
Do you come from a family of athletes? Like that lineage of going to Michigan, is it athletics or just academics?
Not serious athletes. I'd say that probably the most athletic person in my family is my grandmother. She's 80 years old and still swims 2 hours a day and plays tennis 2 hours a day and then golfs, and she's more active than me.
You're obviously spending a big part of the summer now, like training, getting ready for next season. What else are you getting up to? Are you tennis with grandma? Are you golfing?
A lot of tennis. I actually have a younger brother who's on the U17 U.S. national team, and we're very competitive. He's very similar to me, and we've been playing a lot of tennis. We play best of 7 series for some money, and we literally play every day, and it's probably my favorite activity to do now.
How much younger is he?
He's 1 year younger, but he's a late birthday, so he's two drafts younger.
Okay, and a hockey player as well. Like, it's Abe, right?
Yep, correct.
Yeah, so he's going through the USNTDP as well and kind of following the same path you did?
Yep, he'll be a U18 next year, so his second year at the U.S. national team, and he recently committed to Michigan as well. So hopefully
nice.
we'll be playing there together.
Yeah, that's that's really cool. What's the maybe day-to-day is too much of like a small way to look at it, but we'll call it your week-to-week at the US NTDP, because like myself included, I'm sure a lot of people in the chat who are Canadian hockey fans might not be super familiar, but like how do you get involved in that, and like what's your schedule like throughout the season? Like who are you playing against?
Yeah, so U17 year, it's all the USHL, so the United States Hockey League. And you'll play typically from Friday to Sunday, so you'll have 2 or 3 games mixed in. Farthest, we just travel by bus, and the farthest you have to travel is...
Did we lose him? Oh, no. Did we lose him?
Sleeper.
Oh, he's back. He's back. We're good.
Sorry, you have me?
Yeah, we got you now. You're good to go.
We good?
There we go. Now you're back. Now you're back. We lost you for a second. Sorry, you're just saying we lost you at the longest you travel in the USNTDP.
Okay. Yep, that was about 12 hours, the longest we travel.
Yeah. So are you kind of excited for like the lifestyle change then of like being an NCAA athlete, and you like kind of have like a good proper home base, and I would imagine it's a little bit more like the schedule set a little bit, and you can kind of maybe even focus a little bit more on like hitting the gym and things like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the biggest emphasis at the U.S. program is, going to the gym. We'd work out basically 5 days a week, and they were pretty intensive. They have a great program there, and with Joe Maloney and Brian Galvin, those guys are probably the smartest guys I've ever met in that, sort of topic. But at college, I think there will be definitely a lot more freedom and free time. I'm actually one of those guys who weirdly enjoys going to school. So I think it'll be different going to in-person classes as opposed to online classes that we did with the U.S. program. So I'm excited. I think it'll bring a lot of different things outside of hockey as well. I think there's many opportunities at Michigan, and I'm going to take advantage of all of that.
What are you taking?
I'm trying to transfer into the business school there. So my first year, I will be taking economics my first semester, and I'll be taking calculus my second semester.
Before we let you go, I was doing some reading. Let me know if this is correct or incorrect. You're an NFL fan. You're a Bears fan from Illinois?
Yeah.
How we feeling as a Bears fan going into the year? You obviously Caleb Williams, second season. Are we gonna have Asher Barnett pulling up to an Oilers game one day with the fingernails painted like Caleb Williams?
No, I don't have my fingernails painted. I'm a big Caleb Williams fan. I think he's a good guy and he's confident in that. But yeah, I'm not a guy that's gonna paint my fingernails.
I can hear one of our producers is behind the door. He's a Bears fan. He's just screaming "Go Bears" from the other room right now. But Asher, appreciate your time, man. It was great getting to know you. We look forward to seeing you in Edmonton next year, Dev Camp, as the years go on. But thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and good luck in Michigan as well.
Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it.
There you go. Asher Barnett, 5th-round pick of the Edmonton Oilers. 131st overall, went to Dev Camp this year. Fun catching up with him. He also played for the Chicago Junior Blackhawks. 2016-17 Brick Invitational Tournament. Man, that's wild. He was playing in the Brick well after we graduated high school.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about that.
That makes me feel old. That makes me feel old.
Also, I can say, I think I love this kid.
Yeah, I mean, the chat was loving him too. YouTube chat is all in. As soon as
competitive, smart family, Michigan man. Let's go playing tennis.
Tennis player,
dude.
Great to catch up with Asher Barnett. His appearance also brought to you by our friends over at Litco Law. You can find them online at litcolaw.com. When employers cross the line, Litco Law is here to referee. Go to litcolaw.com and book your free consult today. You can find out if you have a claim in minutes or take as much time as you need to get answers and understand your options. Your hard work deserves what's fair. Level the playing field with Litco Law. What do we got going on in the chat that I actually want to talk about? Not a lot. All right, on that
the chat
note,
loved him, though.
The chat really liked him. That was great. We could do a little what's trending, I guess, for our friends at Oodle Noodle. I talked about this on Real Life yesterday. I had a great game plan the other day. I executed my Oodle Noodle order perfectly. I was driving home. It was like 1:30. I was like, I'm kind of hungry right now. And with their new value deal, you can add 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls for just $2 to your order. So I got my usual Tokyo glazed double beef. I got 2 green onion cakes as well.
Double beef?
Double beef player.
Dude.
Yeah, step your game up. Get big. So I got my 2 green onion cakes. I got home, 2 o'clock, ate 1 green onion cake, felt satisfied. 5:30 before my softball game, powered down my Tokyo glaze, came home from softball, hungry, microwaved the green onion cake. That's how you stretch one Oodle Noodle order into 3 different installments.
That's efficiency, brother.
Yeah.
The $2 deal for 5 spring rolls or 2 green onion cakes, that just doesn't make sense in my head. So you need to go take advantage of that, and I have been.
All right, what's trending? I don't know if you saw this. Nintendo putting something out that Mario and Peach... Nintendo today confirms for the first time that Mario and Peach's relationship status is that they are good friends who help each other out however they can. Mario's getting cucked.
I was just about to say,
sucks.
Get him in the chair.
That sucks.
Also, Nintendo, why did we have to announce that today?
I don't know.
Don't really get it, but
it doesn't make
poor
any
Mario.
sense
Poor
at all.
Mario.
Poor Mario, although apparently nothing came out on Luigi and Daisy, so my Italian power rankings may be shifting. This news...
Luigi gets down. We know that for sure.
Mario, I had Mario at 1 on the Italian power rankings. He might be down to 3. I might have Mangiapane above him. Matthias Janmark also says green onion cake sounds disgusting. Dude.
Okay.
Dude.
I know that's not the real Matthias Janmark, but that makes me angry.
That makes me want Janmark on waivers.
I want him gone.
Yeah,
I want him gone.
He also has another one. Anyone see Happy Gilmore 2 yet? No. I'm in a thing right now because I know I have a couple big travel days coming up. I'm saving everything for my flight to Hawaii. Any piece of content I think I might mildly enjoy, I'm like, I'll save it for the flight to Hawaii. Now I have like 12 hours of shit bank because I want to see the new South Park.
You need to watch. Anyone in
I
the
know.
chat watch the new South Park, please let me know. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I need the new season of It's Always Sunny is starting to come out every week, so I'm banking all those. I'm saving episodes of Big Brother. I think starting on Sunday, I'm going to stop watching Big Brother so I can bank those as well. But I think the reviews for Happy Gilmore 2 are actually like pretty decent, which is my bar is low. I'm expecting it to kind of suck.
Sequels tend to suck, especially comedy sequels. And
Yeah.
I will say, I'm just a little skeptical, but it's so many cameos in that movie that I'm like, is this actually going to have a plot, or is this just going to be a celebrity row? But who knows? We'll see. I'll let you know on Monday.
Mr. Kate says, where are you going in Hawaii? So I'm doing 3.5 days on the Big Island, I think they call it. And then I'm doing like just around a week in Oahu. And I'm golfing 5 times in 11 days. That's how you do a honeymoon.
Oh, that's the other what's trending. I have the golf bug so bad right now.
And
It's
I
all
love
I
it.
can think about. I was watching swing tips at midnight in my bed last night. I golfed 18 the last 2 days, golfing 18 again today. Oh,
dialed.
I got the shakes right now.
Dangerous.
It's like all I can think about.
I know. And then especially because, again, we're talking with the sport where you're at the point where like trying to break 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Once you start chasing the break 100 and you do that a few times, and it's like you start to feel like you can break 90, and it just adds fuel to like the golf itch.
I've got an addictive personality as is, so this isn't helping.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I counted before the show and I was like, holy
That's
shit.
crazy.
I've golfed 31 rounds already this year, and it's July 25th.
That's nuts.
I'm getting 5 in on the honeymoon, so that'll put me
How
up
many
to 36.
rounds did you golf on the bachelor party?
4 in 3 days. So that helps. But yeah, Mulek, send out the info, boys. I need to swing some sticks. I mean, I never say no to a round of golf. I love golfing. But anyways, I'll be up to, after today, after the honeymoon, I'll be at 37. Last year I finished dead on 50. Might be tough for me to break that this year, but Mikhail and Dry says Tyler's basically retired. Yeah. In terms of like my schedule, absolutely.
We love the summer at Oilers Nation.
Yeah, I just play softball and golf every night. It's the absolute best.
You were mentioning earlier, somebody said they wanted like summer league hockey.
Oh my, yeah. Someone was
God,
like,
no.
why
I'm
doesn't-
so out on that.
Why doesn't the NHL have a summer league like the NBA so we can watch the sport year round? God damn, I know you guys in the chat are hockey sickos. You're watching this show on July 25th, but come on. There's no way.
No.
Also, speaking of golf, my hole-in-one challenge. Coming up August 18th, Cattail Crossing, hole 11. I can't wait. If you haven't heard, basically, I'm going to be live streaming for 24 hours trying to get a hole-in-one on this one hole. Cattail's been great partners. It is great. We need floodlights. So, like, because we're going to tee off at like 6 a.m., so we're going to start in daylight. I'm hoping that by the end of
Sun goes down, what, 9, 10?
10, we'll call it, right? When you like really can't see. I'm hoping I accomplish it by then, because that's giving me like 16 hours. But we do need to have floodlights in case this ends up going into the night. If you have a business or something that can get us hooked up with like good proper floodlights to put around the green, we probably only need like 2, like one on either side, so there's not a bunch of shadows. If you have that hookup, this is all for charity. We're raising money for Sports Central. DM me. DM me on Instagram. DM me on Twitter if you can. I don't know if you can on Twitter. Or just DM me on Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. Or email me, tyler@oilersnation.com.
If you bring floodlights, you get a celebrity shot.
Yeah.
Deal.
There you go. And I'll like buy you a beer when you show up or something. Someone said glow in the dark balls, but those don't you can't do that for the stream, right?
Yeah, that's not... That, no.
We need
Wait,
lights.
I need the viewer to be able to see the green lit up.
Yeah, we need to be able to see stuff. Someone said, are you streaming it? Yes, we are. So if someone can hook us up with floodlights and give a little, it's not a donation, but help us out, because again, this is a charity thing, that would be much appreciated. I had that written down in what's trending. Also, MLB trade market is starting to move a little bit. This is very exciting. The Yankees are getting Ryan McMahon. I don't like that. Gregory Soto got traded. He was one of the Jays' targets. I'm hearing rumblings. I'm reading everything there is to read. But the Jays are interested in Dylan Cease. I will lose my fucking mind if they get a pitcher as good as Dylan Cease. I do think they need to go more all in on the bullpen. But the other thing to do is, or the other thing to consider is like, man, bullpen arms are like crazy fickle in baseball. You will have a guy who is like elite for 3 months and then is just absolutely horrible. Like the flip of a switch, they'll just be horrible. Look at the opposite example is like the Jays getting a guy like Brendan Little, whose whiff rate and all those numbers you look at, he's like one of the best, hardest to hit relievers in all of baseball. The dude was like DFA'd by the Cubs this last offseason, and he went from, again, the Cubs being like, you're not good enough to be on our 40 man, to all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, he's one of the best relievers in baseball for the Jays. So you need to be careful with relievers. But the other thing is you can never have enough good ones. So I really want to see the Jays go get 2 relievers and a power bat who can hammer righties. That's my wish list for the Jays.
Who are the Jays starting pitchers right now?
Barrios, Gausman, Bassett, Lauer, Scherzer. Okay. Manoah's coming back end of August, but I would imagine they use him more as like a long guy. Aiden O'Neill says DeGrom, but then I saw in The Score did an article like predicting trades for the deadline, and the Jays had to give up like Yasavage and Tiedemann for DeGrom. I don't want to give up Yasavage because I think he's going to be pitching in the majors next year. I don't want to give up Namala. Any other prospect, I would trade Tiedemann. I would trade Cal Steven. I would trade any prospect not named Namala or Yasavage. I really want to see what those guys can do. Only way I'm moving Namala is if it's paired with like a Bo Bichette 8-year extension. Then it's all right. Jeff Skinner says, Tyler, what if you get the hole-in-one at 6:30 a.m. and no one's watching?
That would suck.
So, well, like Aaron and I are kind of doing a lot of like the planning for this thing. And the one thing that it sounds dumb to plan for it because it's hard enough. It'll be hard enough for me to get the hole-in-one in the 24-hour span. Never mind getting one while it's daylight. Never mind getting one in the first hour. I understand that. Like, I fully understand that. But if we do all of this work and all this planning and I get it in the first 30 minutes, what do we do with the stream?
You have to hit 2. You just have to hit 2. We'd have to.
At that point, maybe I would just be like, listen, I'm going to go till 10 p.m. I'm trying to get a second one.
Yeah. Yeah, I could allow it. There'd be a time limit on that, yeah.
Yeah, like at that
now,
point.
Now, once again, Tyler, I saw 2 swings at the 11th hole. They were dialed swings.
I know, and that's why I think I can do it. And like every second round, I usually stick one within like 6 to 10 feet, I like to say. Like I usually have a good shot at it.
I watched you stick them 6 to 10 feet.
Yeah, like I think I can do it. If the hole-in-one is achieved early, have the clubs get someone else see if they can do it. Yeah, like I mean, I think that is going to be a part of it anyways, is like having like, you know, different people from around the city kind of swing by and chat with me and hit a couple of shots themselves and all that. Yeah. So also, someone said bro's wearing a Phillies hat. Yeah, bro, it's called fashion. Look it up.
Look at that color coordination on my boy right now.
Burgundied up.
Also, I got a question for you about the Jays because I was confused by this. Is this real?
I think he was just kidding. I think he got hit with something or he dropped something in the gym. He had to get stitches, but I think he was just making a joke about Scherzer. But yeah, he threw a fucking gem yesterday. That's another guy who they brought him in being like, oh, we need the pitching depth in AAA. And then Bowden Francis ended up being so bad and Scherzer got hurt. And they're like, screw it. This guy's in the rotation. And he's been, again, one of the best starters in baseball. Not Cy Young, obviously, but if you were to rank the top 30 starters in the American League, 15 teams each, he's in the top 30 with how good he's doing.
Damn. It's the Jays year, man. It's the Jays year.
It is. I'm booking a trip. You're going to Toronto. Mm-hmm. Amber and I were looking the other day and we're like, hey, we got the honeymoon, we got the wedding to pay for. But I was like, man, you can go. There's a weekend in September where the flights are $200 round trip and you can just watch 3 games and fly back.
I was shocked at some of the prices for round trip to get there and back.
So I think I'm going to go. The hat's red and the sweater is burgundy. Dude, that is as close to the same color as you can get. What are we even talking about?
I'm calling that hat burgundy more than I would red.
Yeah, the Phillies wear burgundy, especially with the retro stuff. Come on. Hayden said, what lights do you need? We just need floodlights that ideally run on their own without power, the ones that are attached to the generator.
The idea is to light up the green.
We need to light up the green for the stream because the lights by me, I think we're just going to use, we're going to pack our studio lights and shine a couple on me, but the lights around the green, we think we need a bit more power. So yeah, we need something that can just run on its own off to the side of the green. Ideally, I mean, I can't even ask for not noisy because everything's going to be noisy, but we also need to be able to put them relatively not far away, but
off the green,
20 feet away from the green so that the noise they make running doesn't get picked up by our mics by the green. It's a whole thing. So, Bunkin says, so nice to see Rogers Center sold out, but round trip is too much for me. It's the hotels in Toronto that kill you. You have a buddy you're staying with.
I'm staying with my buddy who lives there.
You're literally doing the trip for the $215 round trip. But that weekend in September, I have round trip flights. I need to actually book them today. But $215. It's crazy. Nation meetup in Toronto. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Hey. Our other bosses are there.
Matthias Janmark used fire torches. I don't think that would even come close to working.
I just have a flamethrower.
Yeah. I have some massive ones that need 110 volts. Yeah, The power is going to be an issue for this thing if it gets that point. Because one, we need power to like run our cameras.
We're going
like,
Jenny.
We have generators set aside for those, but to also have more generators just for the lights, I think is too much. Christopher Palmer, what weekend? It's like that September 10th weekend. I think I'm going to go. But anyways,
I'm end of August.
Yeah, you're end of August.
They play the Brewers.
Speaking of which, for our friends at Bet365, download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Some bets for tonight. Well, my Bet365 account, Aaron, it is flush with cash. Blue Jays coming off a couple of big wins. They've won 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 6 of 7 since coming back from the All-Star break. Unbelievable run. As someone who just bets on the Jays in different variations every night, it's been great. Eric Lauer hit his strikeout prop yesterday. Everyone hit their base props yesterday, so I was living good. So let's cook one up for tonight. Do they have anything? Oh, yeah. Let's go. Oh, also the Elks played tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. Blue Jays tonight, Barrios on the bump, and they're underdogs. This is going to be the best same-game parlay I've ever cooked up. Let's go Jays to win. Barrios, his last few games, 8 Ks, 3 Ks, 4, 1, and 5. I think he can hit 4. That's a safe number. 4 is a nice safe number. Player total bases, Vladdy had 2 yesterday. Barger had just a rocket of a hit. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down to hits, runs, and RBIs. They combine it all into one. Vladdy's over-under is set at 1.5. He's hit it in 3 of his 5. Vladdy to go over 1.5 hits, runs, or RBIs seems like a great bet. Plus 260 on the same gamer. Shout out to our friends at Bet365. Also, Elks in action tonight. They're in Saskatchewan to take on the Riders. Massive 9.5 point underdogs. They're benching Trey Ford for Cody Fajardo. I mean, listen, you...
Round and round we go again.
Well, right? Like, people love to... The name. Put a winning product on the field with a good quarterback to market around, and people will show up.
I will watch good football. I love football. I want to watch good football.
Next to hockey, like hockey, baseball, football, I will watch them all every day of the week. If it's garbage football, I'm not watching. You can be called whatever you want. And if it's bad, I'm not, whatever. Also, people accusing Addison Barger of being on steroids... This dude's 26. Like, prospects break out all the time. And if you watch this dude and you look into the numbers in AAA, this is just a guy figuring it out. You can go back through recent history with the Jays. Before Teoscar Hernandez took off, he had to start in the minors one more time. And he played in the minors for a few weeks, called him up, boom, the dude was an all-star. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. was pretty much the exact same way. Also, he's on the trade block. I would look at him if I was the Blue Jays because I'm a sucker for a good reunion story. So, yeah. Shout out to the Blue Jays. They're making baseball fun again. And people who are casual baseball fans are starting to watch.
Me.
Like, it warms my heart. I love when the bandwagon gets full. I love it, love it, love it. It's what I've never understood with people like the Oilers as well. When they're like, oh, bandwagon fans in the city. Who cares?
Hop on.
More
I got
fans.
A seat right next to me,
It makes
brother.
it
Hop
fun.
on.
It makes it fun.
We were talking about the Elks, though. I was hanging out with her yesterday, and she said to me, she goes, this Elks team, they just suck year after year. Why don't you think, shouldn't they just reboot, fire everyone, and try again? I was like, Mom, they've actually just done that, and they keep doing that year after year.
Yeah, they do it every year, and it just doesn't work.
Round and round we go.
Yeah. NBs. Tyler, I hope you get it, but it won't be easy. I'm a 5-9 handicapper. I only have 1 ace, but would love to see it. But you've never sat at a hole for 24 hours. I keep having to make this argument.
It's the same distance. You're going to get into routine a little bit.
People are like, you have a 1 in 12,000 chance of getting a hole in one. Yes, when you play the hole when you have one shot at the hole, and then you have to play 3 more holes till the next par 3, and then you get 1 shot at it. I'm sitting at the same hole, hitting the same shot. It's 155, 160 yards. I'm going to have a nice high teed up 7-iron. I'm probably not even going to take a divot. I'm just going to be smoothly plucking that thing off the tee, and I get 1,000 bullets to just run them up there. I'm going to do it. I'm so confident. If you want to call my confidence irrational, do it. I have no choice but to believe in myself.
I have wavered back and forth in believing in you and not believing in you. I'm fully in. I'm
totally.
in.
All right.
I am upset I'm not going to be there, though.
I know, because you're on vacation. Sucks. Canadian Connor, just keep dialing it in. Exactly. If I have a few bad shots, I just got to dial in. Mm-hmm. Dialing it in is all it takes.
Well,
Lock in.
You're going to need a beer or 2 out there. I mean, you're 24 hours. You're going to have to get loose somehow.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely have a couple beers, which will make the stream fun.
Yeah, damn right. Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Think about how you have to try to get it into a target or bucket at the range. Yeah, and if you gave me 24 hours, I would hit the target eventually. I believe. I know you're saying that. I think you believe in me. Yeah, you believe in me, Connor. Good.
I need to make a survey of do you believe in Tyler or do you not before?
Hurt Now Burton says you'll get it. You need someone to help you re-tee, though. That's where you'll get tired. So I think one of the things I'll do is like, I'm going to have buckets. I'll probably have buckets of like 50 balls, and I'll like hit 50 balls. Then I'll need to take breaks. Otherwise I'll get too tired by like 2:00, never mind by 10 p.m. I think one of the things I'll do in my break is I'll just like put 10 tees down, and I might just like line up 10 balls. And that way I can just get like 10 swings off and like not have to bend down.
That's a good point about tee. Yeah, I didn't really think about
but
that.
I also think
over and over and over and over.
I'm going to have a big bucket of tees too. Like I'm not going to be chasing tees around. I also think having to like tee it up will give me a chance to like not get too tired. Cause like, again, I'll be like, take a breath in between each shot, line it up, hit again. I don't know.
I feel like once you get in your routine and you kind of get in that groove, you're going to be dialed.
Yep, I agree. All right. I think that's a wrap on today's edition of the show. Let's give some love before we wrap up to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant Nation Valet Service. You never have to visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. You call them, they can come to your house, come to your work, pick up your vehicle, do whatever needs to be done. Tire change, oil change, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a Ford vehicle. It doesn't have to be purchased at Sherwood Ford. You can use this service. Just say you're a Nation citizen and you'll get a sweet prize pack as well. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Christopher Palmer asked, can they come to the hole to support Heckle?
Yes. And like a big part of this, again, charity. So like come swing by, donate some sports equipment for our friend to Sports Central. We're going to have some like giveaway opportunities where like, hey, if you donate $50, we're thinking we're going to put like a circle around the hole. Like maybe it's 10 feet. If you come donate $50, you get 2 shots. So like bring a club, you get 2 shots. If you put it in the circle, you're entered into like a mega draw. We have a ton of ideas that we're going to like workshop and get working on. So we're going to make it a whole event. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bring a lot of Voltaren. Absolutely. Bring a ton of like crazy painkillers. Just get like crazy messed up. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Play the best you've ever played.
All right. That's a wrap on today's show. Weird start. Had some fun at the end. Thanks to everybody in the YouTube chat. We'll see you back on Monday live from Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Oil up.